And so Sorcery tells Sublime just to hit him, because he does have the largest army currently. Taking a look at the army size, he definitely has the largest army, almost 1.5 times the amount of army that the Teal Protoss player has. And Teal Protoss gearing up to place a proxy pylon. His macro is really bad right now, actually. He just has a ton of money. Finally maynarding some probes, really should be putting down a few more gateways, and actually did destroy the pylons I was blocking there. So right now though, Sublime will be moving out with his superior Protoss army, and that small amount of zerglings will literally be able to do nothing against this huge Protoss army. And so we will have to see what the Teal Protoss player and Protech does decide to do to counter this. And it does look like the teal or the purple zerg player trying to just bait as much force fields as possible out of Sublime. I would like to see this Teal Protoss player go for a run by and just go and cripple the crap out of Sorcery's base right now. But they are both in a vulnerable position to actually lose this game straight up, because if Sorcery and Sublime does take out this Nexus, then they are in a firm position, as this has bought Sorcery and Sublime enough time to actually get back in the game economically. So taking a look at Sorcery's tab right now, he says block the ramp of the Zerg player, so Zerg player not able to reinforce, and really doing a great job of kiting those zealots. And what I would like to see is the Sublime pull the sentries back. There you go, let the stalkers do its damage, because sentries do have a fairly slow movement speed, and that's exactly what he's doing. And right now Subliming is effectively 1v2ing Protech and the Teal Protoss player. Teal Protoss player does have his expansion out, and looking at the income right now, he has the most income by far. His ally does have half his income though, just because of how many zerglings he is producing. Sublime right now putting down another expansion at this position. I'm not sure why. It's fairly exposed actually, and I would like to have seen it here. But Sublime making his own decisions. He is a big boy. Right now, Sorcery is back in this game with 9 Harvesters. He is getting a few Zerglings. I would have liked to see Sorcery just get pure Harvesters, a second hatchery, and just go pure +1 Zerglings. But Sorcery has a better 2v2 record than me, so I will not teach him what to do. Or I'm not in a position to tell him what to do right now. This is a small point of lull. Going to speed it up a little bit. It does look like Schism is going to be putting down a wall of pylons. And so Sublime and Sorcery right now, realizing TOS has an Expo, is going to start losing out on the economic game. And I would like to see one of the Zerg players put down an Expo, as the Protoss players expanding before the Zerg players is fairly uncommon. Still doing a little bit of movement right now, and Protech right now going to be trying to pierce Sublime's second base, and Sublime doing the smart thing, putting down 3 pylons, blocking the Zerglings completely, and completely destroying Protech Zerglings right now with nicely placed force fields. Looking at the Unisauce right now, the Protech has actually lost 155 Zerglings. But both Zerg players now back in this game from 0 Harvesters, so very, very impressive to see actually Zerg players coming back from this game with 0 Harvesters. Usually when a player has 0 Harvesters, it's usually game, but not in this case. This is just an epic 2v2 game right now. Schism putting down a large row of pylons, possibly gonna be for I don't know. I think he just had a lot of excess minerals actually. So right now, Protech gonna be trying to snipe Sublime's proxy pylon. Does so successfully, and right now Sorcery does have a large amount of Zerglings and a decent sized number of Banelings. It's just basically just gonna come down to position who can lose their entire Zergling army first from the enemy's Banelings, and then whose balanced Protoss army can clean up. And right now it does look like Sublime gonna go for a double Robo Bay with the Colossus range upgrade on 2 base, and so this is spotted out soon. He's gonna be able to do terrible damage. Right now, Baneling's getting caught a little bit out of position. Most of the Banelings die, and I'm lagging like crap now. This is a fairly big battle with just a huge spam of force fields. I really can't tell what's going on. Zealots getting up in the face of Schisms, and those Zealots are doing pretty good damage, but it does look like Schism's superior Stalker heavy force will be able to take out Sublime's force, and Sublime forced to move back a little bit. Taking a look at the army tab right now, yes, definitely the Teal Protoss player is in a firm army advantage, and it looks like Sublime's is just going to be losing whatever the Teal Protoss player does decide to attack right now. And it looks like the Teal Protoss player going for the natural or the expansion of Sublime. Very, very smart, cutting off Sublime's basically only source of income, as his main is basically mined out right now. So Sublime going to be slowly getting away at those pylons. Those cannons are basically useless at this point. Sublime canceling it, knowing his fate is almost sealed, but right now he does have a Colossus almost finished and a second Colossus on the way. And looking at the income right now, Sublime is basically at the lowest possible income. He is off one mineral patch, and his Nexus is about to be destroyed right when Schism's army does move in. A large number of Protech Zerglings coming out right now. Protech's still at 14 harvesters, not bothering to expand, but he does have a second hatchery in his base. And it looks like there's going to be some baneling play from Sorcery. Not getting too many drones, only got a few drones, but there is 9 drones left from Protech. It's okay though, Protech does have is used to this low economic game right now, and it does look like Protech will be doing a counterattack of his zone. And this Zerg on Zerg play is just so savage, very low economic game. If you do not decide to play the macro game that some Zerg players do prefer. Right now, these Colossus are just going to be doing work on those Zerglings. Colossus against Zerglings is extremely hilarious. These Colossus are teachers with their instructor degree. It does look like the Teal Protoss player will be moving into Sorcery space. Sorcery has 4 Colossus on the field right now, and 4 Colossus with a range upgrade is going to be extremely difficult to deal with, especially with gateway units. You really do need the Colossus, Phoenixes, or Void Rays to deal with the Colossus. I'm sorry, you really do need the Void Rays, Colossus, or Corruptors to deal with Colossus right now. But it does look like the Teal Protoss player are going to be starting to snipe some tech. These Colossus are just being extremely annoying, almost dying right now. That Colossus has 5 HP left, and right now 4 Colossus in Sublime's base right now, and Sublime pulling off some drones, or pulling off some probes. Sorry. Not really sure why, but right now these Zealots are in a perfect position to tank for the Colossus. And it does look like he is pulling off some drones. Not really sure why. It's completely unnecessary, considering he does have the 4 Colossus left. But right now, though, looking at the incomes, Sublime is at 0 income, and the Teal Protoss player at a huge economic lead, super saturated at his expansion, and he should be gearing up to take a 3rd sometime soon. Zerg player right now still working off of 1 base, and this 1 base has lasted the Zerg player so long just because of how few harvesters and how much of a low saturation he's gotten. But right now, 4 Colossus on the field. Those Colossus are just going to be able to wreck almost any kind of ground units, so long as there's units tanking for the Colossus. But right now, only 5 Stalkers and a few Zealots going to be tanking for the Colossus, and just look at the damage the Colossus is doing. Even on a single target, the Colossus is doing amazing ground damage. And right now, Sublime looks like he's going to be moving out, and this is going to give him a little bit of time to expand at his natural right now. And so it just really comes down to how long he can hold on to this battle. And just look at the damage the Colossus is doing to those Zealots. It's absolutely making it rain on those hoes. And right now the Colossus are shooting more Zerglings and Zealots. These are the absolute best preferred targets for the Colossus, doing a great bit of micro. Still having lost 0 Colossus, and all these Colossus, 20 kills, 11 kills, 20 kills, 14 kills. I think I clicked on the 20 kills twice. Oh wow, 24 kills on the other one. So it was 20 kills, 14 kills, 11 kills, and 24 kills on the Colossus Sublime. Finally losing a single Colossus, but right now he is just in a horrible economic position. The Teal Protoss player has 59 probes. My fucking god. 59 probes, and he's gearing up to take his 3rd. So finally taking up his 3rd. Zerg player finally taking up his 2nd. 26 minutes in the game. Sorcery does have his own 2nd, but still completely not unsaturated at all. And I'm not sure why Sorcery is building Hydralisks off of 1 base. I think it's because at this point Zerglings are going to be fairly useless, especially against Zealots and Force Fields and Stalkers. So right now Sublime's transferring all his remaining probes to his natural. Probably should be getting these too. Should be getting out a Colossus, more Colossus. Nope, just looks like Sublime will be getting gateway units just to tank for his Colossus, as once you get a few Colossus, it's kind of like the siege tank relationship. So once you get 4 or 5 siege tanks, you can just leave them in the bag, and the only units you need to replace are the ones tanking in the front. And it does look like Protech right now moving out with a handful of Zerglings. Going to be doing a little bit of scouting, going to be trying to be as annoying as possible to Sorcery. Sorcery countering with his own Zerglings and a single Queen trying to block the ramp. And so that Zergling, those Zerglings will be of no avail. Right now it does look like the Teal Protoss player. God, I need to stop saying Schism. Maybe you guys can leave in the comments below how this is pronounced, because I think it's Schism. Schism? No, I think it's Schism. God damn it. Anyway, right now this Zealot heavy army is just going to be absolutely torn apart by these Colossus, considering how both the Colossus and the Zealot have the same movement speed. As long as Sublime sticks to the corner, sticks to the cliffs, you can just jump back and forth, abusing the shit out of the Colossus. Kind of like my ex-girlfriend. It's really interesting to see Colossus and Zerglings and just how useless those Zerglings are just compared to Sublime's army. Regardless, though, he should be getting out a few Hydralisks. Taking a look at the production. Still no Hydralisk. Zerg player finally getting a Spire. 28 minutes in, getting a Spire, and that Spire is going to prove a little bit problematic, especially for Sorcery. Sublime has it covered, however. He does have a large amount of Sentry Stalkers, and Sentry Stalkers just do huge damage to Zerglings. Schism right now doing a little bit of Trash Talk? Not sure if that's Trash Talk. But the third base of Schism, the Teal Protoss player, has been found out, and right now Protech moving out with his scouting force of Zerglings. And one thing both these Zerg players doing well is just constantly scouting with these Zerglings. Now, it is true that Zerglings can get out of position, but if you have a good idea of where the opponent is, you really can't get out of position with Zerglings. And so both players are now using their military units as best as they can, doing as much scouting as they can, and leaving all your units here. It'll probably be an exception for Terran and Protoss armies just because of how slow they move, but having a fast and mobile army like Speedlings and Mutalisks and Hellions and Reapers, you can just really move them around constantly, prevent any kind of scouting or Zelnaga control, and just control the map. And that's exactly what Sorcery and the Zerg players are trying to do right now. Unfortunately, when you have two Zerg players, it gets kind of like a dick measuring contest of who has the best or the most Zerglings right now. It does look like Protech has 1,700 stocked up gas, which is kind of rare for a Zerg player, especially this late into the game. And so probably should be transitioning into Hydra Tech if you do have that much gas. But one thing I would like to note about this map is this: after you get the side expansions and your naturals, it's really hard to pick up a third just because of how in the middle it is. And it does look like Protech Zerglings get out of position. Oh my god, so many Zerglings lost in those two banelings, and it does look like Schism's holy crap number of Zealots, and with charge actually, and Blink Stalkers will be moving in. I'm not sure why Sorcery is wasting his Zerglings on those cannons. He really should just be using his banelings to kill those cannons. He definitely has the money to make banelings. Well, maybe not. But right now, it does look like Sorcery's army is just going to get shit on by those Zealots, and there's really nothing he can do about it. He's just being pinned down. And at this point, they realize that Mutalisks are out for Protech, and so I think Sorcery will be gearing up to get at least a little bit of anti-air. But right now, this is a very scary army. 5 Colossus, a ton of Stalkers, Zealots, and Sentries to do those force fielding just to tank for those Colossus. And so we will have to see just how the Teal Protoss player Schism does decide to deal with this. Sublime right now moving out with his amazingly large Protoss army, at least for this time in the game. And those Zealots trying to run by, but those Zealots just get absolutely raped by those force fields. Zealots literally just died for nothing, and right now it looks like Protech and Schism will be trying to go for a base trade. But Sublime moving back, and there's really at this point the Zerg players provide nothing to the battle. This Zerg player does have quite a few Mutalisks, but Sorcery really having small handful of Zerglings isn't really going to contribute anything right now. And Sublime going to be moving in, so it's basically just going to be Sublime fighting the Teal Protoss army and Protech's large number of Mutalisks. And it does look like that Nexus will be going down, almost down, 200, oh my god, 100 health left, and this is the only mining base for the Teal Protoss player, and Protech and the Teal Protoss player are only mining base left for Sublime, and Protech and the Teal Protoss player does not decide to pick it off, and right now the Guardian Shields and Stalkers will be able to pick off these Mutalisks, no problem. Mutalisks are one of the best units for attacking if you can just poke at random places of the map, but they're one of the worst units in straight up combat. And so they're one of the worst units in defending. Right now the Teal Protoss player says they're both really bad. Sorcery is spelling easy wrong, and I talked to Sorcery and Sublime afterwards, and they actually said that they played the Protoss, or they played these two teams 4 more times, and they raped them. So, kind of, I really don't like players who BM after they lose. It's just annoying. Can't you just say, you know, good game, you guys played well? I mean, it's not like Sorcery and Sublime cheese, but anyway. My name is Alisa with 8 E's, and I'll see you guys later. Not next time, later.